Hey guys, I'm Brittany. This is the Neverending Reader, and today I have my July wrap up. So July was kind of a weird fucking month for me. I didn't read everything I wanted to. I read some shit I had no plans to read, and I mostly read adult, I think, which is really weird for me. I generally read young adult mostly. So let me grab my notebook. Alright, for the month of July, I read 15 books, and 7 of them were adult, 3 of them were YA, 2 of them were middle grade, 2 were graphic novels, and 1 was a non-fiction. And out of those 15, I gave 1 stars to 2 books, I gave 2 stars to 3 books, I gave 3 stars to 4 books, 4 stars to 5 books, and 5 stars to just 1 book, which breaks my heart. I would say that this reading month absolutely fucking sucked. In hindsight, I think that the star ratings I gave weren't that accurate. I enjoyed things more than I thought I did when reading them. But yeah, so let's just get into it. I will start with my 1 stars. Update about Booktubeathon. I vlogged the first day, the rest of it I didn't. I got sick. I didn't feel like vlogging. I was fucking tired, but I did read 7 books in 7 days. So that's dope. In this wrap up, I'm going to include the Booktubeathon books that I finished while it was still July, and then next month you'll get the August books. Yeah, it was a success, and I did get a 5-star book out of it, but that was the last day of Booktubeathon, so I'm not going to be talking about it. So yeah, let's do my 1-star books. So the first 1-star book I'm going to talk about is Cut by Patricia McCormick. This is about a girl who cuts herself, so big triggers for self-harm and all that. And so in the beginning of it, you kind of get like she cuts herself and then she's in a mental hospital to get better, and I just fucking hated it. It was horrible. It was really short. I thought it was bad representation of mental health and people who do self-harm. The main character, Callie, was just, I don't know, her personality just didn't make sense, and I thought that her, like, family issues were interesting. Her brother was sick a lot, and I'm trying to remember, did he have asthma or what? Basically, he was sick, and her parents were shit, and, yeah, but there was, like, no plot to this, really. Everything was, like, resolved very easily, and that's not how shit works. I thought the therapist was absolutely fucking awful. If this person in this book was my therapist, I would be pissed. The therapist basically gives up on Callie when Callie won't speak for, I don't know, a couple days. When she gets into the mental hospital, she won't talk to anybody, and the therapist is like, well, fuck you. If you don't want to help yourself, I'm not going to help you, and I'm never going to see you or treat you. And so Callie thinks she's going to have to go home to, like, this big shit show when she's not better, because she does want to get better. And I just don't think therapists should just throw you away like that. Maybe it's some, like, weird psychology tactic that I don't know about. But if a therapist did that shit to me, it would just make me more depressed. Like, that's the person that's, like, supposed to be on your team. I mean, they're getting paid to be there for you. And if they're just gonna say, well, fuck you, that's, like, not cool with me. So, yeah, 1 star, garbage, don't recommend it. Pretty awful. And the next 1-star book that I read was Rage by Stephen King. If my editing ass can get it up here somewhere, I will, but probably not, because I'm a fucking idiot. Rage by Stephen King. I guess it was actually written under Richard Bachman, which is his pseudonym. It's about a school shooting, and I actually had a library copy of it. It's like impossible to find, so I had a bind up of all of the Bachman books. And Rage was about the school shooting, and I am not going to remember the names of all the kids at this point, but the boy is like clearly mentally fucked up, and he goes into the school and starts shooting adults / teachers, and then he goes into this classroom and holds all of the children hostage. So while he's holding these kids hostage, they didn't react well. Like, they didn't react how people being held hostage reacted. They all kind of, like, were cool with it. They were like, yeah, this dude just shot, you know, the people who teach us, but, like, everything's fine and we like him still. And, like, it was just, like, really trying to humanize the shooter, and I fucking hated it. It was horrible. That's not how school shootings work. That's not how people react to shootings. You should never even try to explain or humanize a murderer who is disgusting. I do realize that this was written before school shootings were normal. I can't believe I just said normal. Before school shootings were just always happening. So I always think of school shootings like kind of starting with Columbine. There's probably more before that. I don't know about it. They scare the shit out of me. I have children in school. So I think maybe Stephen King took this idea of a school shooting and then tried to make, you know, a horror novel out of it. But I think maybe when he wrote it, it wasn't such like a real life thing. Maybe it was something that, like, wow, this is so out of the ordinary that, you know, I can make a novel out of it, or, you know, whatever. But now it is not out of the ordinary. It happens all the time, and it's a very real fear for children and parents, and so I don't recommend reading it. The only reason that I did read it was because I'm trying to read all of his books in publication order. That was on the list. So I did read it. It was short, 1 star, don't recommend. It was not good. So my first 2-star read was The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. This is about a man, boy. He's not a boy. He's like more like a just beginning to be an adult age. So he goes on this like treasure hunt. I think his name was like Santiago or something. Yeah. So Santiago goes on this treasure hunt. He's like going to find treasure in Egypt, and along the way he meets all these people who like gives him all these bits of wisdom, and you know, after years and years he eventually, you know, continues on his journey to find said treasure. I didn't realize when I started reading this that it was kind of like a faith-driven book. I think that you could probably apply any faith or religion to like the morals in here. Personally, I am not a spiritual person. I'm not religious. I never have been. I don't, you know, if you are, that's cool with me, but this isn't for me, so this book wasn't for me. I thought it was pretty boring, honestly. I thought that the people who were, like, supposedly supposed to be wise and, like, giving him all of these, advice and all that stuff, I thought that it was just shit, like, that we've already heard from every other fucking book. So, yeah, I didn't love it. It was short, but it was just not for me. I think I'll probably give this to my grandmother, who is a faithful person and religious, and I think she might enjoy this. I, on the other hand, didn't. The next two 2-star reads are going to be from my booktubeathon. I read these both. I read this one first, so I'll just talk about it. The first one is Hidden by Helen Frost. I'm not actually going to get into this because I talked about it in my vlog probably a lot. It's supposed to be, I thought it was supposed to be a mystery. It's like these two kids are at summer camp and they know each other because the girls had been involved in this like kidnapping basically. One of the girls was kidnapped by the other girl's father, indirectly basically, and it was just kind of how they dealt with it and how they became friends, or you know, whatever, and put aside their differences. But it was written through poetry, and I don't know shit about poetry, and at the end of this book it says something about one of the characters, her lines, the longer lines tell the story about her dad. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that means. So I guess there's supposed to be some like deeper meaning, but like I tried to go back and like understand what the author had said about like this deeper meaning and how to find it, and like I don't know what that bitch was talking about. So maybe I'm just like a total idiot and suck at poetry, or maybe this was shit. Either way, I gave it 2.5 stars. I initially rated it a 3-star, but like on further reflection, it wasn't a 3-star. It was definitely like a 2.5. Right in the middle of the road of a 2 and a 3. It was fine. Maybe if you like poetry you would like this, but I don't know enough about it to care. The next 2-star read for me was The Stepford Wives by Ira Levin. This was a book that I read on the first day of Booktubeathon. It was fine. I bet the movie was probably better. It's basically about this woman and she moves into a new community and everyone is kind of fucking weird. All the women are like just all obsessed with cleaning and they have no lives and they basically act like robots, and she's trying to get to the bottom of it, and her friends' personalities dramatically change. So all the wives who move there, within 3 months they become these like, I don't know, horrible cleaning monsters basically with no personality. Oh, my kids and my dog are all loudly complaining. Anyway, I think it was written like a long time ago. I don't know, maybe the fucking 70s or something. It showed. It was bad. I didn't like it. 2 stars. Don't read it. Just probably watch the movie. I haven't watched the movie yet, but I'm pretty sure it's probably better than this. Okay, 3-star reads. First up, I got Queen of Hearts by Colleen Oakes. I read this on the first day of July, so it's not like super fresh in my head anymore. Basically, it's about this girl, Dinah. I don't even know if she's supposedly the Queen of Hearts. This is a series, but she has a horrible personality. Her dad's a fucking nightmare. She lives in the palace. I don't know. It takes place in Wonderland. Like, there was nothing about this that, like, I cared about at all. The only reason I gave it 3 stars is because I read it quickly, and I just thought it was really, I don't know, there's nothing that I got out of it. I hated the characters, all of them. There was, like, some, like, a little love romance going on, but it was, like, shitty, because the main character is a fucking brat. The love interest was just super annoying. I couldn't even tell if he liked her or not. Apparently he does, but I couldn't tell. I thought he was being like not genuine and he was actually an asshole. And like she's just kind of trying to like get away from her terribly awful father who's like, I don't know, probably gonna murder her or something. It was just not good. If it was a standalone, I might have liked it more. I won't continue on with the series. I will probably donate this or something. Yeah, 3 stars. It was fine, but bleh. The next 3-star book I have is The White Princess by Philippa Gregory. This is about Henry Tudor VII and his wife Elizabeth. It was basically their lives told through Elizabeth's eyes. It was just really, it was not as good as Philippa Gregory's other books, and I love her books, but this one I didn't like. I didn't like how the main character was just like confused all the time. But I think it gives a pretty good like historical understanding of what the fuck was going on back then. They are the parents of King Henry VIII, so I thought that was pretty cool that we can like, you know, reflect onto them and maybe, I don't know, try to figure out why Henry VIII was batshit postal insane. So it was good. It was fine. I got annoyed at points. It was a long read. Yeah, there's not much to say about it. I am excited to pick up the next one. I think it's The Constant Princess is next, which would be about King Henry VIII's first wife, Catherine. I do love the series, and I do recommend it to people who have an interest in historical fiction or this time period, but this wasn't the best one in the series. My next 3-star read is going to be Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. This is like a sci-fi book about Jason, and he is like basically kidnapped and sent to an alternate universe where he's like rich as fuck and like a scientist, and basically it's like a different world where he took like a different path in life and didn't get married and have kids, and he's trying to get back to his wife and his son, and like it's like a sci-fi. There's a lot of scientific shit happening. I thought it was going to be better than it was. Everyone was just raving about it and they loved it, and I was like just left thinking that I could have gone without reading that probably my whole life. I think it would make like a good action movie probably, but guess what? I don't like action movies, so and that's kind of how it read, like it was written for a movie or something. I just gave it 3 stars. I probably will never think about it again. It was okay. It could have been better. My next 3-star read is going to be My Friend Dahmer. This is a graphic novel written by one of Jeffrey Dahmer's high school friends, and it was kind of about Jeffrey Dahmer's life before he was like some fucked up serial killer. I didn't know anything about Jeffrey Dahmer before I read this. What I knew about him was he was a murderer. So I read this and then I looked on Wikipedia to like try to figure out like what kind of awful shit he did, because this was like about before his life as you know, a serial killer. So you didn't really see the murders happening. You just kind of saw him like progressing as a high school child into a monster. I thought it was interesting to see from somebody's perspective about how he was perceived in high school. It was good. I really didn't care for the art style, but you know, this is this dude's life work. He illustrated it, the author did, and I don't want to shit all over somebody's, you know, pride and joy. So while it wasn't like an art style that I enjoyed, maybe you guys will. I don't think it brought anything new to the Dahmer, I don't know, tale, because once I looked on Wikipedia and was like kind of looking into all of it, it was like just the same old shit. But yeah, it was fine. If you are interested in serial killer shit, maybe read it. I don't think that it like humanized him at all or made him, I don't know, look like an actual better person. I think it was mostly just like a cautionary tale basically about like when children or high school students are visibly needing help, to please help them, because maybe you could prevent people from doing horrible, awful, terrible, really bad shit like this guy did. He was disgusting. I don't think I've ever looked into a serial killer who did worse shit. I mean, I can't think of anyone. This guy was fucking gross. But if you're, you know, into this shit, I know people like serial killers, or find them interesting at least, pick this up. It'd probably be fine. It was 3 stars. It was fine. I won't read it again. But yeah. I did read Wonder. This is a middle grade book about a boy, and I'm sure you guys have all seen at least the movie or heard about it. I'm not going to go into details. It was good. I liked it. I understood, especially from his bigger sister's perspective, about how kind of Augie was mostly getting all of the attention. Rightfully so. He was sick, and he needed the attention, but you know, she did too, and I think that's kind of what I got out of this book. It's mostly like, if you have a sick kid or a kid who maybe needs extra help than normal, please pay attention to your other children as well. They have a lot of shit riding on their shoulder, just as much as your sick or, you know, disabled child. That's kind of what I took out of it. It made me think about how I treat my children who are not sick or disabled, but maybe I need to like spend individual time with them so that they both know how special they are to me. I think that it would be fantastic for school-aged kids to read this. I think it's really important. It's an important discussion. And I watched the movie with my kiddos after I read it, and they both liked it very much. And yeah, I thought it was really good. So 4 stars. The next 4-star book I read was Lumberjanes Volume 3. I read it through Kindle Unlimited or something. Maybe it was Kindle Prime. Basically, I got it on my phone through the Kindle app for free. And it was fucking fantastic, as usual. I love the Lumberjanes. I love all the characters. I love them so much. It was mostly like a 4.5 out of 5 stars, but I just want to tell you how much I love Ripley. A lot. I just want more of Ripley, always. She's the best. She's the cutest. They're all so cute. I love the stories. I love how they fight like these supernatural, I don't know, just situations, monsters, all that shit. It is a great graphic novel. It is middle grade. I'm assuming anyone can read it. It is great. Please, 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 please read the Lumberjane series. I am obsessed with them. So I gave Volume 3 a 4.5, and I'm continuing on with the series. Yeah. That's all about that. The next book I gave 4 stars to was The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. It was really good. I'm not gonna sit here and explain it to you, as I'm sure you guys know what it's all about, but I thought it was pretty fantastic. It's pretty true to the TV series on Hulu, which I have already watched season 1, like I think last year. It was really good. I liked it. I'm about to say some like pretty crazy ass shit, so just don't judge me, but I think that the TV show is better. But as far as like predicting the future, I hope this isn't our future, but we're well on our way to it happening. I think it was really good. It was worth the read, and I will be picking up more of her work. I wish there was more to this book, like just, I don't know, I could have gone with like 4 more books, but apparently it's not a series, and I just found that out when I finished this. So hashtag sad, and yeah, 4 stars. And look at this cover. It's beautiful. I also gave 4 stars to Yes Please by Amy Poehler. This is a nonfiction about like basically her whole life. I thought it was really great. I don't necessarily like biographies basically about celebrities, but I did like this one. I thought that she was really honest, I felt, in this biography. She talked about like her faults and some shitty shit she's done. She was, you know, just living her truth basically. And I honest to God think if she was anybody else on this planet that nobody would like her, because she is a pretty shitty person with some pretty terrible qualities. but then she's also fantastic. And if she wasn't a comedian, I don't think that she would have many friends, but I loved it. It was good. 4 stars. I really, really liked how she talked about her like come up basically on how she became a comedian, and she talked about the Upright Citizens Brigade, which was a TV show that my husband made me watch like a long ass time ago. And yeah, it was just really good. If you have any interest in her, I would say definitely go for it. It was like a really interesting outlook on her life, as well as like other celebrities that, you know, she's attached to or friends with, and you just don't really see that side of them. And I think the Saturday Night Live stories were pretty funny, and it was just really good. I also gave 4 stars to A Wrinkle in Time. It was really cute. It was good. I didn't love the main character. What the fuck was her name? Meg. I thought she was kind of annoying a little bit, but Charles Wallace, her little brother, was the cutest shit I've ever seen. I want to adopt him. It was an interesting story, and I actually really want to watch the movie now. But yeah, I'm not going to get too much into this either because this video is getting long as fuck, and bitch, I'm hot. And the last book on my wrap-up is going to be 5 stars, Record of a Spaceborne Few by Becky Chambers. This is the 3rd book in the series. I fucking loved it. I love everything that I've read by her, which is just the series, and it was just fantastic. So this is the 3rd book in the, I don't know what she's calling it, the Long Way to a Small Angry Planet series, and this kind of centers around the people, the fleet, who left Earth and came into the space. And the fleet is called the Exodus Fleet, and basically back when Earth became uninhabitable, they took the remaining humans left on Earth into this Exodus Fleet and flew it into fucking space. And you know, eventually they became friends with the aliens out there and became part of this, I don't know, like alien community. Most of the humans traveled on to live on like alien planets, and they did not stay in the Exodus Fleet, and this kind of centered around the humans and generations that did stay in this fleet in the middle of space and did not go to any planets. So there's a cast of characters that you follow, and I loved all of them deeply. This was such an incredible story, and you don't know this about me, but I'm fucking terrified of space. The thought of outer space scares the shit out of me. I have the worst anxiety when I think about it. I feel small, and like reality just shatters when I think about space and aliens and shit. But Becky Chambers writes this in a way where it makes me feel like space is home in a way, and it was just beautiful. I loved the characters. So there's just so many characters in here that I absolutely loved. I loved all of them. I thought that they were beautiful, and I will read anything at all that Becky Chambers writes. I think that her writing style is fantastic. I think that her characters are so real. They're so human and different from one another. And I love the aliens and the different cultures that she makes inside of her like alien planets, and you know, the different kinds of aliens, basically, how they live, how they differ from us, and why they are the same as us and matter as much as us. And I love it. It is one of my favorite books ever. The whole series is one of my favorite series of all time. I highly, highly, highly recommend it to anybody. Even if you do not like sci-fi, please read this series. I don't think that you have to be a sci-fi lover to love this. I don't give a shit about sci-fi, really. The only sci-fi books that I care about are these and Ender's Game. I really like the Ender's Game series. And that's it. So if my dumbass can like care about this, yours can too. it's really good. So 5 out of 5 stars, 500 stars, 5 million stars. I fucking loved it. Please read it. So yeah, that concludes my wrap up. This was a long video. I hated filming it, honestly, because it is fucking hot in this room. I'm so ready for fall. I'm living for some crisp fall air. So yeah, I might start doing weekly wrap-ups instead of monthly, because this was a whole lot of books to talk about, and it took a long fucking time. So let me know if you'd like to see that instead of a monthly wrap-up, and I will catch you later. Bye!